Good morning, dear children. In the previous class, we started with the last chapter of history, the making of Indian nationalism. We started studying from the year 1870, that is after the revolt of 1857. And today again we will be continuing with the same chapter. In the previous class, we discussed about the demands of the people, what were the causes, what were the reasons and the consequences of the revolt of 1857. Then we discussed about the demands of the people. We also discussed about the formation of Indian National Congress. Why the people, they revolted against the Britishers and they started demanding Swaraj. Then we also studied about few reformers like Sarojini Naidu, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Chittaranjan Das, and the various factors why these people they became revolutionary and why the common people they wanted change in the country. Today we will continue studying the same chapter, but we will discuss about the Gandhian era. We will study what all movements took place. First of all, we will be studying about the Satyagraha movement. When did it start? How did it start? And above all, why it started? Do the people, common people, support him or he was left alone? So we will be continuing with the few movements which he started with his Satyagraha, praising and preaching the Satyagraha movement. So let's start discussing first of all his Rowlatt Act and further the Khilafat movement and the Simon Commission and etc. So children, in the previous classes we studied about the demands made by the Congress, the formation of the Indian National Congress and how there was the split in the Congress. We also discussed about the Swadeshi movement, the various factors led by this movement. Then we studied the partition of Bengal. Then we studied the various reformers who worked very hard in this. Then main aims of Swadeshi movement. Then various reformers, the politicians and the functionaries who worked very hard for the revolt of 1857. Then we also discussed about the Muslim League, the split in the Congress. Now today we are going to start with the era of Gandhiji. How Gandhiji worked so hard for the country and for gaining the independence for the country and its people. So this is the picture of Gandhiji with the stretcher bearers of the Indian Ambulance Corps. So these were the people who were the stretcher bearers who used to carry the injured people in the Indian Ambulance Corps, that is the Indian Ambulance. So these were the people who used to carry the injured people. Then let's see how this movement rose to mass nationalists, the growth of mass nationalism. The First World War changed the economic and political situation in India. There was a sharp price rise which increased the problems of the common people. So children, after the First World War, there was the hike in prices of the commodities in India and the situation became worse. And thus the problems too increased of the common people. The business groups reaped huge profits because the war increased the demand for all kinds of goods. Reduced imports meant that the new demand was being met by the Indian business houses. The business groups now began to demand more opportunities for development. So children, as there was rise of the prices of the commodities, the businessmen, they gained huge benefits because of the increased in demand for all kinds of goods. Reduced imports reduced, that the new demand was being met by the Indian business houses, and the opportunities demanded more, the people demanded more opportunities for development. Many people from the villages were forced to serve in the British Army during the war. Exposure to the alien lands helped them in understanding the exploitation being done by the colonial powers in other parts of the world. So children, as the time of war came near, the people from the villages, they were forced to serve in the British Army as there came the shortage of soldiers for the war. Then exposure to the alien lands helped them in understanding the exploitation being done by the colonial powers. Children, while they were the villagers and the common people, they were working in the country, they did not understand the policy of the Britishers, the policy of the colonial powers. But when they were forced and they were sent to the outer countries in the alien land, in some other parts of the country, they understood, they realized the problems which they were facing and which was forced upon them. The Russian Revolution took place in 1907. News about peasants and workers' struggle and ideas of socialism also reached to the nationalists in India. So children, there took place a great revolution in Russia, which changed, due to which there was a change in the life and in the working conditions of the peasants, artisans, farmers. So that news also came worldwide, and that reached to the nationalists in India too. This is the Nehruji with Gandhiji. As you can see, a serious talk, a serious conversation was taking place regarding the position, the condition of the Indians. The advent of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, after studying from South Africa, returned in 1915. Because of his movements against racial restrictions in South Africa, he had already become a respected leader. So he fought against the racial discrimination in South Africa. And after that, he became a political and a respected leader in the country. He first wanted to understand the people, their needs, and overall situation prevailing in India. Hence, he spent his first year in India traveling throughout the country, studying the people's position and condition and the overall situation which the Indians were facing. His earliest participation in local movements was in Champaran, Kheda, and Ahmedabad. So these were the three places where first he started with his Satyagrah movement. So this is the picture of early Gandhi and his dressing sense when he went to South Africa to study law. The first was the Rowlatt Act, the Rowlatt Satyagrah. The Rowlatt Act was passed in the year 1919. The Act curbed the freedom of expression and strengthened police powers. Gandhiji gave a call for a satyagrah against the Rowlatt Act. He asked the people to observe 6th April 1919 as the day of non-violent opposition to this act. Satyagrah Sabhas were set up to launch the government. So children, this act was passed in the year 1919, and due to this act, the freedom of expression and the strengthened police power, it stopped the freedom of expression, and the police powers increased. He gave an urgent call for a satyagraha against this act, and he also asked the people to observe 6th April 1990 as the day of non-violent opposition to this act. And different sabhas were set up to launch this movement. The Rowlatt Satyagraha became the first all India struggle against the British government. So this Satyagraha became the first struggle against the British government. However, it was mainly restricted to the cities. Many demonstrations and hartals it took place all over the country. The government used brutal measures to suppress the revolt. So the government did every possible methods to suppress the revolt. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre was one such example of brutal measures. Rabindranath Tagore renounced his knighthood in protest of Jallianwala Bagh incident. So from this satyagraha, from this act started Gandhiji's satyagraha movement all over the country. So this is the picture of the Rowlatt Satyagraha which he wanted to observe on 6th of April, where so many satyagrahis they moved together against this Rowlatt Act. Then came the Khilafat agitation and the non-cooperation movement. So children, after the First World War, a harsh treaty was imposed on the Turkish Khalifa. A very brutal, a very harsh treaty was imposed on the Turkish Khalifa. Khalifa is the religious leader. The leaders of the Khilafat agitation, who were Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, known as the Ali brothers, they too wanted to associate with the non-cooperation movement. The Muslims wanted the Khalifa to retain control over Muslim sacred places in the erstwhile Ottoman Empire. Gandhiji supported the Khilafat movement. So children, according to this Khilafat movement, the religious leader Khalifa, his power and function, his powers were sustained by the Britishers. And Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, these Ali brothers, they wanted to restore his power. So for gaining his power in the secret places in the Ottoman Empire, he wanted to get control over the Muslim and also with the other people. So Gandhiji supported the Khilafat movement. Next, the non-cooperation movement gained momentum through 1921 to 22. So now came the non-cooperation movement, and it gained more and more power, more and more importance in the year 1921 to 22. Thousands of students, they left schools and colleges to join the movement. Many eminent professionals, they gave up their profession to join the movement. Bonfires of foreign clothes were burnt. The boycott of foreign clothes resulted in imports falling drastically between 1920 and 22. So children, as this non-cooperation was launched, it slowly started gaining popularity. How thousands of students they stopped going to school and colleges and they joined this movement. Many professionals, they left their jobs, their professions, and they too joined the movement. Bonfires of foreign clothes were burnt. The boycott of foreign clothes, it resulted in a great loss falling in the imports between the year 1920 and 22. And first, the non-cooperation movement was firmly launched on 1st August 1920. Bal Gangadhar Tilak passed away in the early hours of 1st August. Now, what were the people's initiatives? How did the people support this movement? The non-cooperation movement remained non-violent at most of the places. So, most of the places it was non-violent. But some people interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi in their own ways. The Patidar peasants of Kheda, they organized non-violent campaigns against the high land revenue demand. Liquor shops were picketed in coastal Andhra and interior Tamil Nadu. The tribals and poor peasants in Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh, they staged a number of forest satyagrahis to protest against the new forest laws. The Khilafat movement, the non-cooperation movement, thus got enormous lot of support in Sindh and Bengal. In Punjab, the Kali agitation of the Sikhs, they demanded to remove the corrupt Mahants from Gurudwaras. In Assam, the tea garden laborers, they demanded a big hike in their wages. They shouted the slogan, Mahatma Gandhi Maharaj Ki Jai. In many folk songs of Assam, Gandhiji was referred to as Gandhi Raja. So children, these points, they tell us how in various places the people, they joined these movements and how much success all these movements they got. And the people, they worked hard to join to make all these movements successful in whatever way they feel like working for these movements. So this is the picture with Subhash Chandra Bose and Gandhiji in the year 1938 and the happenings of 1922 to 1929. So this was another incident which took place in February 1922 in the place called Chauri Chaura. In February 1922, a police station in Chauri Chaura was set on fire by a crowd. The peasants were retaliating against police firing on peaceful demonstration. 22 policemen were killed in the Chauri Chaura incident. Saddened by this incident, Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement. So children, while the people were supporting the Satyagraha movement, then suddenly they became agitated and they burnt a police station in Chauri Chaura, and the firing took place and 22 policemen were killed in this incident. Gandhiji became very sad and he quickly called off for the end of the non-cooperation movement. After that, Gandhiji's followers, they wanted to take on constructive work in the rural areas to increase the base for the Congress. On the other hand, some leaders, they wanted to fight elections to the council. They wanted to enter the government so that they could influence certain policies. The Gandhians worked in villages during the mid-1920s and could be able to extend their support base. This proved very useful during the civil disobedience movement. So after this incident, Gandhiji's supporters, followers, they wanted to do some constructive work in the rural areas to strengthen the base of the Congress. While some other leaders, they demanded that they wanted to contest the elections to the council. Anyhow, they wanted to enter the government so that they could change the few policies. And the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, known as RSS, and the Communist Party of India were formed during the mid-1920s. The revolutionary leader Bhagat Singh was also active during this period. Then came the Simon Commission. The British government decided to send a commission in 1927 to decide on India's
political future, and this was beheaded by Lord Simon, but it had no Indian representative. Absence of an Indian in the commission infuriated the political groups in India. So children, this commission, as it was headed by Simon, Lord Simon, it was known as the Simon Commission. It came to India in 1927 to decide about the India's political future, and this commission did not have any Indian representative. So as there was no Indian representative, the people were infuriated, they became too angry, and they agitated, they reacted against this Simon Commission. Children, this is all about the Khilafat movement which we have discussed recently. Now the next, the march to Dandi. All of you are quite familiar with the Dandi march. The salt law gave a monopoly, the right to the state on the manufacture and sale of salt. And Mahatma Gandhi and other leaders, they argued that the salt was an essential part of our food, and hence it was totally wrong to impose the tax. Moreover, the issue of salt affected all, the rich and the poor alike, as all use salt as the main ingredient in the food. Gandhiji and his followers, they marched from Sabarmati to Dandi to break the salt law. There Gandhiji picked up a handful of salt to protest against the salt tax. And this movement attracted supporters from all walks of life, including the peasants, tribals and women. And the government tried to crush the movement by taking brutal and strict actions. Thousands of people were sent to jail. Most of the eminent leaders, they were arrested. Then the Government of India Act 1935 provided provincial autonomy. Elections were held in 1937 and the Congress formed governments in 7 out of 11 provinces. Then the Second World War broke out in 1939. The Congress leaders were critical of Hitler and thus they decided to support the British in the war. But they wanted independence of India after the war. In return of this gesture, the British did not agree with this demand and the Congress ministers, they resigned in protest. So children, this is the Dandi March, leading the volunteers, followed by the volunteers of the Indian National Congress. Then came the Indian National Army. The entry of India into the war was strongly opposed by Subhas Chandra Bose, who was elected president of the Congress in 1938 and 39. Then he founded the All India Forward Bloc. In 1940, a year after war broke out, the British put Bose under house arrest in Calcutta, but he escaped and made his way through Afghanistan to Nazi Germany to seek Hitler and Mussolini's help for raising an army to fight the British. The Free India Legion, which comprises of Edwin's Romanians Indian, was formed in light of Germany's changing fortunes. He became a German land invasion of India became untenable and Hitler advised Bose to go to Japan and arrange for a submarine. Its aim was to reach India as a fighting force that would build on public resentment. So he did to inspire revolts among Indian soldiers to defeat the British Raj. So this is how his army was formed, Indian National Association. So children, in the next class, we will be discussing about Subhash Chandra Bose and his Indian National Army. Till then, you read the chapter, go through the chapter and mark all the important dates relating with the different movement and its basic features. Thank you. Have a good day.